And welcome to the Campus Buzz. We have a special guest today, Anya Marina, who's representing her new CD, Slow and Steady Seduction Phase 2. So how are you doing today, Anya?
I'm wonderful. It's nice to be here. A little snowy outside. I scraped my windshield already.
Oh, no.
This morning. It was something new for a Californian like me.
Something new. So you're currently on tour.
Correct.
So where have you been around lately? You played in Philadelphia, New York.
Yes, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, too. I did not go to Vienna, Virginia last night because we had a bit of a snowstorm.
Yeah, quite a bit of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
But I'm heading to Syracuse tomorrow, or Ithaca, Syracuse, and we'll go to Albany. And then I think we make our way into the Midwest again. But this is my second time in all these, or most of these cities over the last couple months. I'm pretty much on tour for all of my, I don't know, the next millennium or so.
Really?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. So you're in New York, obviously, today, and you're going to Syracuse. How's the tour treating you so far?
It's great. The crowds are always fun. The first tour I did this year was with the Virgins, and they're a bit more of like a rock dance band, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was different. This one is with Greg Laswell and Jay Nash, who are good friends, and it's more of like a singer-songwriter tour. So playing a lot of listening rooms. Mm-hmm. So that's a treat for a musician, you know. It's like going to church in a way.
Yes.
It's very quiet, and people sort of hang on every word. So on one hand, there's a lot of pressure because you'd better not screw up because they're listening. But on the other, it's wonderful because people really are sort of paying attention to your lyrics and stuff.
Yeah. Do you find that your time touring is more of your favorite, or do you find maybe when you're more songwriting or back in San Diego doing other stuff, you know, what's your favorite part of the whole music?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that. I was just thinking about that the other day. Somebody once said that they're all sort of different muscles that you have to exercise at different times. The recording muscle is far different from the performing muscle, which is different from the songwriting muscle, but they're all sort of connected by these ligaments, you know. Mm-hmm. And I always find that the day or two before or after the segue from one to the other, that sort of period is really difficult. It's like, I don't want to go on tour. I want to stay home. I want to be in writing mode, you know. Mm-hmm. But then you get on the road, and there you are performing, and it takes a day or two, and then you can't imagine being home. It's so fun being out. But it is a bit of a transition. I like all of them. I think sometimes the more frustrating one is the recording because it can be so laborious and tedious, and there's a lot of sitting around and waiting. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's so... Sometimes that can be really fun too. It's when you bond and you kind of play around on different instruments and come up with new ideas. It's very creative too.
So your new album is entitled Slow and Steady Seduction Phase 2 rather. Now this is your third major release, I believe.
It's my third release, I guess. The first one was an EP I put out myself, which had 5 songs on it, 4 of which were on the first full-length Miss Halfway that I put out myself. But really it's my second full-length, and really it's my first major release because it's actually out all over the States.
How long did it take for you to record in studio to do all that? Because you were
Way
saying
too long.
that you're saying that it gets tedious. But how long did it take you?
The first demos were done a couple of years ago, and then the first part of Slow and Steady, the official, album, I guess we started about a year and a half ago. And I was a DJ on the radio in San Diego full time, Monday through Friday. So we would just do it piecemeal around my shifts, Like, okay, guys, I get off work they'll be out by 4. Can we record till 10? So we'd get like half a piano part done that day. So it was a really long, long process until I think 2008 when I started off the year and I begged my job to give me my vacation time early, and I just took the whole 2 weeks that year, and we just spent the whole 2 weeks in studio and pretty much finished the record.
Nice. Now, how does the songwriting process work for you? Do you have a certain mindset you have to be in, or do you build your songs first and then build stuff around it, or do you get in studio and just tinker around? How's the whole
I
process
definitely
work for you?
don't get in studio and tinker around. That's like the last thing. I'm in awe of bands that say we wrote the whole record in the studio. I don't understand how I really, really need a lot of woodshedding time alone, you know? So I could never do that. I've certainly come up with ideas before in studio, but not. And I've had to like write lyrics on the fly in studio, but I don't prefer that route at all. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
definitely. You know, I from the other artists we've had up here, everyone has a different answer to that. So it's always a question we like to ask the people that we bring through here at WSOU. I'd follow up to that question, though. You know, you sing, you songwrite, you're a DJ. Apparently you're doing a little bit of acting as well, or you did do a little bit?
Little bit of acting. I just finished a one-line part, so look out for it. And the new
Cameo.
Yeah, the new Kevin Spacey film that's coming out this year called Shrink, which is an amazing, amazing script. I don't know how the movie is yet, but I've heard great things. It premiered at Sundance and did really well, I think. Robin Williams is in it, and Gore Vidal is in it, which is incredible. And then I did a little TV pilot thing where I play this very aggravated sister to the lead actress, but who knows what will happen with that. I don't even want to tell you what it's called because I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
But a little bit of acting.
Okay.
Only when a friend calls up and is like, hey, you know, the lead actress is in rehab or something.
No,
Can you please help us?
So you're a woman of many hats, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Trying the acting thing, the DJ thing. Would you say that being a DJ helped you, inspire you in any way? Being around music constantly. I work at a radio station. I know that all this music, I want like that creative outlet, but I'm not quite there yet. But but with you, do you find that being on the air, listening to all this music, did that inspire you in any way? Like, what are your influences? Like, did you find that when you played specific bands on the air, you got ideas for songs through that, or is it just completely separate?
I can't think of a moment necessarily that happened. And you have to remember I was in commercial radio, so even though there were some amazing bands that we played, I was lucky enough to be at one of the few stations that was independently owned and had a freer format. You're still sort of repeating a lot of stuff because the average time spent listening is so short. So, but yeah, I'd certainly get CDs and bring them home and then listen to them and I fell in love with music on the radio for sure, for certain, and that did bleed into my work. You know, I never would have heard of LCD Sound System or Spoon or Gnarls Berkeley or Peaches or any of these people if I hadn't been working on the radio, and they all certainly had a huge part in inspiring my record and rhythms and beats and things like that.
And aren't you actually working with Britt from Spoon?
We did do 2 songs together on this new album, and I'm really proud of them.
That's really cool.